Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Micromaster Autobot Air Patrol to review for you. Now these are from the 1990 second wave of Micromasters. Not a lot of detail about these guys. They never appeared in any comics. I believe they might briefly have appeared in Transformers Zone in Japan, but I don't recall them really getting much in the way of screen time either. So before doing this review, I didn't know anything about these guys at all, and after checking on the Autobot Wikipedia, I still know nothing about these guys because there's no information. They I guess by this point there was just nothing to draw on. So we have, in terms of going through, you've got Master. So he's a helicopter. He should have rotors, but he doesn't with the toy, which we'll come back to. Master is described as being deadly. Okay, that's useful. We have Sky, who I guess is meant to be a Concorde style plane. You can just about, maybe not in the, if I'm moving close you don't get the focus, but trust me, there are little windows, or what appear to be windows there, so he looks a bit more like the Soviet Concorde. I know he doesn't have the things out there, but with the droopy nose, more like the Soviet Concorde than he does the French and UK release. So Sky is known as unfailingly positive. That's more than most Micromasters, let's face it. We have Eagle Eye, who I think he's probably meant to be a Tomcat. On F-14, I don't know, but with the double tail fins. He's obviously a military jet. He doesn't fly when you drop him either, so he goes straight to the ground. He's classified as an ineffectual team leader. Again, that's very unusual for any team leaders, to be honest. They're usually meant to be dominating, but ineffectual and still a team leader, that's interesting. And finally, we have Treadbolt, who is obviously a stealth jet and is described as being stealthy. That's it. That's all we know about them. Were they a good team or not? Are they good Micromasters or not? Well, team-wise we can't judge, but in terms of actual Micromasters, they aren't too bad. I'm not quite sure about this one. He's obviously meant to be a Concorde, but there's just so lacking in detail, really. I'm not sure, particularly with the obvious join here for the transformation. That kind of ruins it. He looks pretty good, I have to say. He does look pretty good. He's kind of on a par with an aerial bot. Obviously, much more than an aerial bot, but in terms of actual detail, he's on par with one of them, so he's pretty good. Not too bad. Again, a bit hampered by the transformation below. It seems very blocky. But from the top view, he's quite good. So yeah, that one's alright. And as the helicopter goes, not too bad at all. Say the rotors would be nice. To get one of these guys with the rotors, you can double the price compared to one without. In fact, I've only seen 2 or 3 on eBay with rotors, but you're looking at around £8, £9, £10 or so. It's just not worth the money. It really isn't. Okay, transformation. Well, what do you think? Do you think they're all the same? I think they're probably relatively similar, but let's see how we go. So, flips like that. Now this is actually his feet rather than the top, as you might expect. And the legs flick down like that, and then the wings just do that. Transform. Very, very similar in transformation, it has to be said, to some of the Decepticon Airstrike Patrol members. Obviously he's got the wings here, which give the impression of having huge hips, or huge thighs, I guess, really. Detail, it's alright. It's noticeably less than in the early releases, but it's still alright. Because he's quite narrow at the bottom, as you can see he rocks a bit, but he's relatively stable. How do you think this guy transforms? Same? You'd be wrong. Next on that, but here, instead of being the feet, this is now the head. And it folds forward, unusually. And these flip down. The legs, I have to say, that are a feature common throughout in that they all fold back and they kind of fold forward to give a bit more of a stable, straight base. Now his arms, because of the fact you have the nose cone that folds out the front, the arms barely reach beyond his chest, so that kind of makes him a little bit ineffectual. He's very, very thin as well. Compared to the other one, he's very, very thin, but still quite a good transformer. Top bit say top heavy. He's a bit towards the back because of the way the wings go, but you can get him balanced there. He should stay up. Yay. Okay, so onto this guy here. So wings flip back as you would expect, and then the legs flip down. Now he is missing some arm parts. Obviously I could get a new one of these. At the moment I don't really want to spend the money on that, so he's fine otherwise, but you can get the idea. The arms will go there and just waggle up and down. He's not got some bad detailing on him. It kind of looks like he's wearing sunglasses. I don't know if we can quite see that. Yeah, there we are. It kind of looks like he's wearing sunglasses, but otherwise not too bad. How stable is he? Not at all stable. It's very, very narrow base there, and you've got big wings, so you definitely have to have him leaning forward. And finally, our helicopter. Obviously he's missing his rotor blades, but the other transformation is the same. That clips down like that, and then the flip round here to form our legs. And that's it. He's transformed too. And there we are. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. By this stage, you kind of get the idea. They're all very, very similar themes. This is something like the 7th or 8th Micromaster Patrol just for the Autobots alone. Decepticons didn't seem to get quite as many Micromasters, which seems a bit surprising. You think they might have released the same amount for all of them, or at least tried to even up the numbers, but there we go. Without really knowing much about these guys, without them having any screen time, they don't really stand out. I probably like the blue guy, him, as he forms the best looking jet, but otherwise they don't really stand out for me very much. They're alright, there's nothing particularly wrong with them. They just, it's yet another Micromaster Patrol. Again, height wise, they are perhaps a little bit smaller than the race car patrol. Not much, but a little bit smaller, as shown when you compare them with Titan's Return Blur. They just about come up to his kneecaps, but they're a little bit smaller, so yeah, as terms of Micromasters, they're not quite as high. Say we just compare here with Road Handler, and he is taller than, I think, all but this guy, and he's leaning forward a bit, but otherwise the other three are a little bit on the short side, even for Micromasters. So yeah, they're an interesting curiosity if you want to particularly try and get all the Micromasters, or if you just like planes. Let's face it, the Autobots don't have much in the way of jets, but for me, they just don't stand out. Anyway, never mind. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Goodbye.